Yo, what's that word? Yeah. Glad you've taken some time to spend, you've taken some of your valuable time to spend with us today. And today with me, I have a very great friend of mine. I call him Dralagar, but his name is Dralagar George. He's a mentor of mine, a really good friend. And I'm glad to be with him today. I'll let him say a few words. Maybe he can introduce himself better.
Thank you so much for having me. My very good friend, my brother, Pavin Kiptoo. We've done so much stuff together. I'm called George Dralagar. People call, I don't know, that could be controversial to some other people.
It's just fair.
And they call me, I'm called General. It's a name that I didn't keep it to myself. It's what they give. That's how they refer to me. Their choice, yeah. So they were here, and I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad you've all taken some time to be with us today, and let's jump right into it. Let us start. So George, how is life? Tell us. How is it going?
Yeah, always good. Being a Kenyan or living in Kenya must tell you that whenever you're asked, how are you doing, you just say, in Kiswahili say, poor. So I think I'm poor, I'm good, nothing more.
So you think you're poor? We're not trying to what?
Yeah, that's how, some kind of environment when you're exposed to, you have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
I think interact with a lot of kind of people with different background. You tend to fit in where they fit.
Yeah.
So that's how I am with it.
Let's get right into it. So today I wanted to ask you this question. We know we don't talk about earnings, but what are our meal foods? People are getting hurt. And we're sort of, but tell us, how did you make your first, let's say, around $100 when you were still young? How did you make your first income, and how did it feel?
Oh, that's a good, I'll say it's a motivating reference point.
Yeah.
I think my first earning, I'll go backwards, much more earlier. That is right after secondary school. I was so fortunate after completing high school, I was able to get some kind of working with other people, maybe being exposed to the real world. So I was able to work as a house supervisor, where there's some computer resources, and I was trained in some basic computer literacy. And after all, I became a facilitator, where you now teach people who are much more vulnerable. They don't know English, they don't speak any others. You become the teacher, and that's how I exposed myself there. So basically, that's where my first earning came into about. So something basic.
How did you reach me? Maybe more of that place. How did you come to each other? Like maybe there's someone watching us, and I do a synapse connection can serve. Like I don't know people. How can I get to maybe make my first income without experience or knowing people? How can I get to do that?
I think that one may not apply to everyone, but the main thing should be how proactive are you?
You explain proactive.
Proactive to me, it means when your friends are going out, some people love leisure time so much than working time. So there are two kind of people in life. So when you love leisure more than, of course everyone loves leisure, but leisure is a free time. You only do leisure when you are free, but the rest of the time is working time. And when you see your friend goes to a place and he has been welcomed, and he's your friend, it means he can also welcome you. It's not nepotism or what, it is knowing each other and utilizing that opportunity maximum, and to you maximize that opportunity.
So you network.
You network, you're invited, and you get to also be proactive, where you contribute to, first of all, when you get to be welcomed in a space, you get to identify the kind of gaps you can come up with a solution to it, or you can come up with a good idea on how to engage more further with other people in that space. And that's how your value comes there, and that's how you're paid.
And speaking of productivity, you're one of the people I really look up to, because when you were still in campus, you had a show, like you had a PlayStation, and you still do it. Right now you call it your studio. Could you tell us, like, what it took to start to open a shop when you are maybe that age, and the lessons you learned, like, from there?
Yeah, I think I knew that I was done with school, and actually I opened it during school and during COVID-19.
Yeah,
it was very, very hard time to get money by then.
Yeah,
but I knew my time in school was going to expire, so I'm one kind of a person. I know I'm a youth, first of all, and I think I love working with youth. I don't just necessarily, I work with other middle-aged people, but in a way that I come up with my ideas, and we collaboratively see how that ideas can be implemented. But speaking of your question, what motivated me to open a shop? I saw there was a gap, and I felt it was good, that gap, and money opportunity come once, strike it once. So I knew once I'm in school, I start out tamarking, and I'm one kind of a person. I don't want to waste on my the kind of my ideas I have. Like, I don't necessarily want to go and work with established maybe entity, but I want to come up and see what kind of gaps we can come together and do together. So that's why I tried to come up with ideas I do it on my own, like an entrepreneur. Yeah.
And I also know you've been doing like a lot of freelancing stuff, like write up, academic write up, you're a social media manager. I know you do a lot of stuff. Will you tell us, like, your first earning as a freelance? How did it feel? Like,
it was awesome.
How do you tell us, like, how much to?
Yeah, freelancing, it gives you your time and your space to do what you think and work in a schedule. So to me, it was everlasting to believe, like, working for yourself can pay you. The first time I saw that money came through M-Pesa, I was motivated, and that's when I knew I can do anything for myself to make myself better, you see. So yeah, freelancing, I'm a writer. I began writing in school. Well, I used to write some basic academic proposals, and I've been doing it for students through referrals. I've never advertised myself as well, and it's a big opportunity for anyone who wants a computer, and that is where there's a digital divide in Africa, and because of the availability of internet and skills, research tools, that's how I became an accomplished researcher. At the moment, I cannot say I've done much, but to a certain level, I've done some good level, I would say. And it's a good thing to start writing. It's good because you release thoughts and be read by other people, or you can do some good writing for other people who are on demand. But to me, I also encourage other people to write. So yeah.
And how much was it? That. I thought that actually.
Okay, because
how much was the first check?
My first investment.
How did you invoice?
15. It was just $150. Yeah, just for one. But that one I was beginning, and I also knew that person. That's why I leveraged the cost. Yeah, 10K.
How do you go about like invoicing plans. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, if I send you the invoice, I have a list of my deliverables for you.
Yeah.
Expect what kind of thing I'll give you as an output. Yeah, with the deliverables, every deliverables has a specific a financial obligation, cost stuff, and through a generated app, I write my invoice, everything, your address, my address, terms and conditions, and everything. Pay me that specific date I've scheduled on the invoice and with the specific quotation. And that's how it's up. I'm never troubled.
Yeah. And why do you say that you get all your plans really fast? So that means like the people you work with, they are already established people. Like how do you draw about all that? Like how do you get your name in people's mouth that George is the best for this work? How do you do it?
Yeah, I think I have so much. Okay, everybody has so many opportunities. Anything you can feel, this is what I will use to solve my problems.
Yeah.
In school, in campus, I was fortunate to be a leader. I was elected as a student leader, a faculty chairperson, or the president. And I was also able to utilize that opportunity to market myself. So my name, I had a name. Yeah, at least a lot of people knew me. I've interacted with a lot of people. So yeah, and they also knew that I was a good maybe student. So basically, they can believe I can write. And I had an office where people could come and advise.
Yeah.
So they knew that this person is capable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I get my referrals.
Yeah.
Most time. Yep.
That is awesome. I have another question. Like, when you was started, what do you think of startups? And what do you think? I know you've stayed in Kenya for some time, and you're a resident of a lot of countries. With a lot of countries.
Let's go backward.
So,
just like this, maybe speaking of startup, and you've also mentioned about space, co-working space. I've mentioned about co-working space.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked in a co-working space?
I can't see a co-working space much. To me, what I understand by co-working space is like a place where like-minded individuals can come together and work on maybe on a similar task to achieve us one goal, or maybe even have people from around family together, and if you have a problem you can consult someone. I think to me that is what
exactly
co-working space means. I haven't been maybe to this one, like we say, Mercedes garage.
Oh yeah, you know I will be garage. You've been there.
I have.
You're missing a lot.
So I have to say that, but I know what it means to work in bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
Work. Yeah, I have a little bit of experience working in groups because it's called group work, and
nice.
In this stuff you go to like these mentorships and stuff, you're put in groups to work together and hackathons. So maybe to me that feels like a working space. So could you tell us first of all what you know?
No. I think at this time everybody should be able to know what is a co-working space.
Yeah.
If I'm told you have a skill, of course co-working space is for people with skill. And let's say if you are also educated, in school you have library. What is a library? I've never been. Okay, I don't know why in library people are not allowed to interact like freely.
People are trying to concentrate.
No. You see, speaking of a co-working space, it's a shared workspace where people are able to work. Let's say individuals, or freelancers are able to work together in a shared environment collaboratively. So it means me and you, we are here, yeah, coming up with thinking about a challenge. Then we see how we can come up with solution to that challenge. Yeah, it means we have the space, we have the resource. Me and you, we identify people, potential people, we can work together. You see, that's the essence of co-working space. We come together to identify a gap, a challenge, and we solve it with coming up with strategies, all those kind of resources we need. You see that.
And you seem to have a lot of experience with partnerships. Could you tell us for a time we worked with maybe one? Could you tell us?
You can't speak about something you've never experienced, or if you don't want to experience. So yeah.
So it's me, I have never experienced. I want to experience, I have never.
I wouldn't say it. Okay, but to that standard, it was something good. There was a place called SIPTA. SIPTA is an abbreviation of a space for ideas, freedom, SIPTA, transformation, and action. You have to have that action. Yeah. So basically, it's a space for ideas. You come with there's a free space. It could be paid sometimes. Yeah. Of course, everything has an obligation. You come up with an idea, or you use that space in your own time to solve a change, or to make a change. Yeah. And there's one SIPTA. It was in Gong Road, where I was able to be exposed to other people, and I came fact there. We were invited, and my thought were asked about a certain challenge, and I was able to contribute. So it's a space where you can come and do a range of varieties.
But tell us what you are doing.
Me?
What was it you had been invited to talk about in that working space, or to what spots they want to get from it?
Okay, there's one recently we did. It was called ideate.
Yeah.
That was specifically, and this is we saw that there was a digital divide in terms of the representation of Black content, and Black content specifically is speaking about photographies and photojournalism, podcast, storytelling, but through the captures of the camera, we record everything. So we had a plan of mentoring photographers, photojournalists, all those people who want to use camera to showcase their content, so that we fix that divide in Black in Black content representation through the digital platform we've given now. If you do your research good, I don't want to speak to you, or I can tell you everything, but if you go and confirm, go and check how a lot of people consume this other content. Just recently we have begun consuming our own content, so that's why I chipped in. We branded ourselves, and we did our first pilot. We are planning to see how we can go in another level.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically co-working space. If you will see what we are doing now, how far do you compare yourself with these other people, the European countries, in terms of actualizing ideas, in terms of coming up with solution and creating a change, but through the kind of digital opportunity we have, because a co-working space gives you that platform it exposes you to other people who are learned, people who also use digital platforms. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And let me ask another question. What do you think? How can youth benefit from working spaces? How, like, meaning a sort of man, and we're talking about nini, like, how can I benefit from working in these places?
Working with other people like you. I think working with other people gives you a sense of existing in a shared challenge.
Yeah.
You all have the problem of unemployment. Yeah. And unemployment, sometimes we are forced to be self-liberate ourselves. Self-liberate, yeah? You see your friend is succeeding. Why don't you succeed with him? Why don't you come up with another angle of how you can work with him so that he can even grow? Yeah, it does just help you. So in a co-working space, you do your ideas without money if you want. You can do your ideas without money. You've been given a skill, you've been educated, you've done research, and you see how Elon Musk, the kind of Elon Musk are doing. You compare yourself, but you can also consider your environment. Yeah? And what can you do better in your local area? Yeah, you can eye at the kind of what Elon Musk is doing, but what are you doing with your mind? So for us, I think, and I know what you think, like, I know what kind of projects you want to do for yourself. You are, for instance, a programmer. We've spoke about a lot of stuff. Sometimes we cannot reveal it, but all those ideas, I'm telling you, those are the kind of co-working space that gives you an opportunity to implement your ideas. You don't hallucinate on it. You get supported. I have my skill, you have your own skill. There's something called social capital. Yeah. Social capital is what you can, like, what I can help you or I can support you, but because of I know you and you know me, we don't need to pay each other. Our co-working space gives us an opportunity to exchange skill, to help one another in a free way. Of course, you'll need support, funding support sometimes. And that's why we African youth, we are not doing a lot. You have to convince someone to be assisted, to be supported, not helped, to be supported. You have our own pillar. Let's say this house was meant to be built with some. Let us be medieval, and let's say pillars. We're constructing our house with pillars, with like those kind of Roman times pillars. I have 3 pillars, and it should be around 12 pillars. Someone is able to give me support to make another pillar. Another one is willing. People come and help you through social capital. As long as your idea is proven to be viable and impactful. So that's kind of opportunity co-working space gives you. You tend to think and act on your ideas. And you see how the kind of Mark Zuckerberg, they have the office. It's not his mind alone. He just organize and they get support for research, everything. So that is the essence of
that's it, guys. We are glad you spent some time with us to meet. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button and let me tell you his YouTube channel. I'll leave the link in the description. He also talks about he's a really good politician and influence. He has his own organizations around like youth worship community.
That's of my
those are some part of it. Let him tell you about your his YouTube channel.
Oh yes, my YouTube channel. It's not like I post my whatever I think. I think I'm improving from posting. It's not regular, but Political Intent, Politico _Intent.
I'll leave the links in the video description.
And there's one called Free Play Space.
Free Play. That is like
free play gaming space.
That is like your show.
That is that place.
The studio.
The studio.
So that's it, guys. See you in the